Boy, welcome to Beyond Poksha. For a Poksha, tonight we take you deep inside one of America's most haunted places, the Stanley Hotel in Colorado. A place so chilling it inspired Stephen King's The Shining, but the truth is far stranger than fiction. The Stanley Hotel, perched majestically in the heart of Estes Park, Colorado, is a place where history and legend intertwine. Its story begins in the early 20th century, when the world was on the cusp of great change and the American West was still a land of opportunity and adventure. In 1909, a visionary named Freeland Oscar Stanley, best known for co-founding the Stanley Motor Carriage Company, set his sights on this breathtaking landscape. Stanley, a man of innovation and an ambition, had come to Colorado seeking relief from tuberculosis, a disease that threatened his life. The crisp mountain air and stunning vistas of Estes Park not only restored his health, but also inspired him to create something extraordinary. A grand hotel that would rival the finest resorts of the East Coast. Stanley envisioned a sanctuary of luxury and comfort nestled in the rugged beauty of the Rocky Mountains. He wanted to offer guests an escape from the hustle and bustle of city life, a place where they could breathe deeply, relax, and experience the wonders of nature in style. Construction of the hotel was a monumental undertaking, requiring the latest technology and the finest materials. The Stanley Hotel was among the first in the country to be fully electrified, boasting telephones in every room and running water, a true marvel for its time. The grand opening was a lavish affair, attended by the elites of society, who marveled at the hotel's opulent architecture, elegant furnishings, and sweeping views of the surrounding wilderness. Freeland Oscar Stanley poured his heart and soul into the hotel, determined to make it a beacon of hospitality and refinement. He believed that the Stanley Hotel would stand as a testament to human ingenuity and the healing power of nature. Guests from across the country flocked to experience its charm, drawn by tales of its luxurious accommodations and the promise of adventure in the great outdoors. The hotel quickly became a social hub, hosting grand balls, concerts, and gatherings that echoed with laughter and music late into the night. Yet, as the years passed, the Stanley Hotel began to acquire a reputation for something more mysterious. Guests and staff alike whispered of strange occurrences, unexplained footsteps in empty corridors, flickering lights, and the faint sound of piano music drifting through the halls when no one was there to play. Some claimed to have seen apparitions, while others felt an unshakable sense of being watched. The hotel's elegant facade seemed to conceal secrets, as if the very walls remembered the joys and sorrows of generations past. But what Freeland Oscar Stanley never imagined was that his grand creation would become a magnet for restless spirits. Over time, the Stanley Hotel's reputation as one of America's most haunted places would grow, drawing curious visitors and paranormal investigators from around the world. Today, the hotel stands not only as a monument to early 20th century luxury, but also as a place where the past lingers and the line between history and legend is forever blurred. Guests and staff report footsteps echoing in empty halls, laughter in rooms where no one stays, and doors slamming shut on their own. The hotel seems alive, as if it's watching. The Stanley Hotel, perched high in the Colorado Rockies, is famous for its breathtaking views, grand architecture, and perhaps most notably, its chilling tales of the supernatural. Among all the rooms in this historic hotel, one stands out above the rest for its ghostly reputation: Room 217. This room has become the epicenter of countless stories, whispered legends, and spine-tingling encounters that have left guests both terrified and fascinated for over a century. The legend of Room 217 begins in the year 1911, when a catastrophic event shook the very foundations of the Stanley Hotel. On a stormy June night, a powerful gas explosion ripped through the hotel, sending shockwaves through the quiet mountain town of Estes Park. At the center of this disaster was a dedicated housekeeper named Elizabeth Wilson. She was performing her nightly duties, lighting the acetylene lanterns that illuminated the hotel before electricity was commonplace. Unbeknownst to her, a gas leak had filled the room with invisible danger. When she struck a match, the room erupted in a violent blast. Miraculously, Elizabeth survived the explosion, though she was thrown through the floor and suffered serious injuries. Her resilience and bravery became the stuff of local legend, and the hotel owners credited her with saving many lives that night by her quick thinking and devotion to her work. After her recovery, Elizabeth Wilson returned to her duties at the Stanley Hotel, continuing to care for guests with the same dedication she had always shown. But as the years passed, strange occurrences began to be reported in room 217. Guests would check in only to find their suitcases unpacked, their clothes neatly folded, and their shoes lined up by the bed, tasks that seemed to be done by invisible hands. Some visitors described feeling a sudden chill in the air or catching a fleeting glimpse of a woman in old-fashioned clothing moving quietly through the room. Others heard the soft rustle of skirts or the gentle click of heels on the wooden floorboards, even when no one else was present. The stories grew, and soon room 217 was known not just for its history, but for its resident spirit. Over the decades, guests and staff alike have reported a variety of unexplained phenomena in room 217. Lights are said to turn on and off by themselves as if controlled by an unseen hand. Personal belongings mysteriously move from one place to another, sometimes vanishing entirely, only to reappear in odd locations. Some guests have even claimed to see objects levitate or slide across tables without any logical explanation. The air in the room often feels charged, as if something or someone is always watching. The hotel's maintenance staff have their own stories, recalling times when they would enter the room to fix a light or repair a fixture, only to find their tools rearranged or their work mysteriously undone. Perhaps the most unsettling reports come from couples who have spent the night in room 217. Many have described the unmistakable sensation of someone climbing into bed beside them, even when the room is locked and no one else is present. Some feel a gentle pressure on a mattress, as if a figure is settling in for the night. Others have awoken to the feeling of cold hands tucking them in, or the faint scent of lavender, Elizabeth's favorite perfume, lingering in the air. These experiences have led many to believe that Elizabeth Wilson's spirit remains in the room, continuing to care for guests just as she did in life. Whether these stories are the product of overactive imaginations or genuine encounters with the supernatural, one thing is certain: room 217's reputation as one of the most haunted hotel rooms in America is well deserved, and the legend of Elizabeth Wilson lives on, captivating all who dare to spend the night. In the grand ballroom, a piano plays at night with no pianist inside. Some say it's the ghost of Flora Stanley, the hotel's first lady, continuing to fill the halls with her music. And it's not just adults. Guests often hear the laughter of children running through the corridors, but when they look, the halls are empty. In the autumn of 1974, Stephen King and his wife Tabitha arrived at the Stanley Hotel in Estes Park, Colorado, seeking a quiet retreat. The grand, isolated hotel, nestled in the Rocky Mountains, was preparing to close for the winter. The couple found themselves the only guests in the vast, echoing halls, with only a skeleton crew remaining. The air was crisp. The wind howled outside, and the hotel's old wooden floors creaked underfoot, amplifying the sense of solitude and mystery. King later described the experience as both enchanting and unsettling, a place suspended between worlds, where the past seemed to linger in every shadowed corner. That night, after dinner in the grand but eerily empty dining room, King wandered the hotel's long, dimly lit corridors. The silence was profound, broken only by the occasional flicker of the old lights and the distant echo of his own footsteps. The vastness of the hotel, combined with its age and isolation, created an atmosphere thick with anticipation, as if the building itself was holding its breath. When King finally returned to his room, number 217, he fell into a restless sleep. In the depths of the night, he was jolted awake by a vivid, terrifying nightmare. His young son Joe was being chased through the endless twisting hallways of the hotel by a fire hose that had come to life, writhing and hissing with malevolent intent. The dream was so intense that King leapt out of bed, drenched in sweat, his heart pounding. Shaken but inspired, King lit a cigarette and sat by the window, gazing out at the moonlit mountains. In that moment, the story that would become The Shining began to take shape in his mind. He imagined a family trapped in a grand haunted hotel, cut off from the world by snow and isolation, their fears and secrets magnified by the building's oppressive presence. The nightmare he was just experienced became the seed for the novel's most chilling scenes, and the hotel itself transformed into a character, alive, watchful, and deeply haunted. King began scribbling notes, the words pouring out as if the story had been waiting for him in those empty halls. Over the years, King has often spoken about the profound effect the Stanley Hotel had on him. He admitted that the building's atmosphere was so charged, so thick with history and unspoken stories, that he felt he wasn't alone, even when there was no one else in sight. The creaking floors, the shifting shadows, and the sense of being watched all contributed to a feeling of unease that lingered long after he left. The Shining would go on to become one of King's most iconic works, forever linking the Stanley Hotel to the world of supernatural fiction. Today, visitors still flock to the hotel, hoping to catch a glimpse of the ghost that inspired a masterpiece and to walk the same haunted halls where Stephen King's imagination was set ablaze. Visitors describe the air turning icy cold, shadows stretching along the walls, or whispers calling their name when no one is there. The Stanley doesn't just haunt your senses, it invades your soul. Paranormal investigators have captured mysterious orbs, sudden temperature drops, and even ghostly apparitions caught on camera. But skeptics say it's all in the imagination. Yet those who stay overnight swear the fear is real. So, is the Stanley Hotel just an old building filled with stories, or is it truly a gateway between our world and the next? If you dare, book a night and find out for yourself. This is Beyond Poksha, and remember, the truth is often scarier than fiction.